Hello there, gang. PulseCon is still in full swing, but we've had all the Marvel Legends reveals and we got so much to talk about. I'm not going to stand by and wait for any last minute little sneaks or teasers. Let's just get to the stuff that's been confirmed because, oh my goodness, so much of it looks really, really good. And I love the fact that just a couple of days ago, I did that rectangular leak video, but there's still so much stuff that we had no idea about. So let's talk about it. Now in this video, I know that we've got a lot of gripes about the prices of things, and it kills me that it's so expensive. There's stuff I'm just not going to be able to buy. But I just want to talk about the stuff that's awesome, because some of these figures do look so good. I'm going to kind of forget about the fact that I'm not going to be able to pick up half of them, or if I do, I'll sell them on. But because like this is just the hype videos, because I love a bit of hype, and I'm feeling good. I got a little makeshift studio behind me, which, by the way, I mean, not too shabby. Hey, it looks like I'm trying to contact the upside down behind me. So first of all, we got just dropped out of nowhere this morning images of Iron Man with his proton cannon. Full on Marvel vs. Capcom. This is good, but also like, I don't know, I feel like it looks very plasticky. The flat ketchup and mustard, it looks a little bit cheap. I'm not sure, maybe that's just my eye, you know? But the fact that they are doing the big, chunky, massive proton cannon, that's awesome. It's kind of funny that it comes with a very small blast effect. Like this huge big gun, and then it goes pew! But that notwithstanding, he does look nice. You get two different heads, which is great. I think the one with the red in the mouth, like, God, I think that looks a little bit tacky. I'm probably gonna, I should have got a thesaurus. I'm probably gonna use the same descriptives quite a lot, but I think it does look a bit tacky, but it is exactly like the artwork. So I can't fault them for that, because they're going, no, we're gonna translate this into 3D form. Boom, there it is. Well, there you go. So we're also getting a Mafex version of this same sort of deal, but with an older version of the armor. So really, you can take your pick. But the fact that this is full-on 90s Iron Man cartoon style with the mullet and everything, I always thought he looks like Timothy Dalton. That's a very Timothy Dalton with a mullet. I kind of dig that. So it's such a shame that we can't get him on the retro card. It's now like the retro card box. But it's fine. I mean, you would have to do a different packaging anyway with the big chunky proton cannon. So if you want to keep building up your 90s animated looking characters, then yeah, he's going to be great. Then we had to touch on the HasLab. They didn't linger too long on that. However, they did announce, or tease at least, another tier. Before they went to that though, we saw Mephisto in person, so to speak, and he does look good. I gotta say, I like how he looks, Crocs notwithstanding. But the only problem is, it's still 12,000 backers. So that's a heck of a, that's very optimistic. So I don't know if we're gonna eventually see him or not. It's kind of a shame, because if they don't make him on the tier, then I'd be surprised if we ever get him, because that would kind of be Hasbro saying, hey, if you don't make the tier, don't worry, we'll release it anyway for you. Which then makes you think, oh, well, I won't bother getting the HasLabs then if we're gonna get them single release anyway. So you gotta wonder what the marketing technique is gonna be in that regard. It's a tricky one, but that also plays into some future announcements as well, we're gonna get to later. But as far as the next tier is concerned, which again, is pretty optimistic. But having said that, I remember when Galactus was funding, and we were all like, oh, this seems to be crawling along, and then boom, surpassed all expectations. So you never know. But they teased with a little orb, a little gem, what is probably the Goblin Queen. And again, that's one that hardcore fans have been looking for. And if we get a Chasm figure coming out soon, which is teased, or leak teased, then Goblin Queen, they would pair up nicely, because we've got a storyline Dark Web coming out where those two unite to cause some trouble for Spider-Man and the X-Men. So that'd be a nice little bit of synergy there. And that does it for the HasLab. So that's done, finished for HasLab, time to move on. But sticking with Ghost Rider, they teased a little while ago a gun, and everyone said, boom, that's for the orb. Well, guess what? Y'all were right, it is for the orb. And I gotta say, orb looks freaking awesome. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I like that they actually put as a point of boasting that they're using the real scan face technology on the single eyeball. They're like, yeah, we just focused it all on just one single eyeball. And it looks great, full on 70s pop collar, Evil Knievel style costume. I mean, talk about popping off the shelf. That was rubbish. That was rubbish too. I'm going to abandon that. It looks really, really cool. So I love it. So quirky and weird. That's going to be a good addition to your Ghost Rider shelf. Now we're moving deeper into the Marvel Universe, and a big one is going to be Molecule Man. This is one that a lot of folks have been asking for the longest time. I'm more familiar with him recently from the Secret Wars. I say recently. That was 2015. That was quite a long time ago, but that's what I know him from. And that's clearly what this look is from, I think, with this face sculpt, which I think is quite a modern sort of look. But, oh my goodness, guys, this face sculpt. I mean, holy bananas. Just this real face scanning technology or whatever. I'll say it now. These face sculpts are stunning, like all the way through this entire reveal. They're beautiful. Absolutely just, mwah, chef's kiss. Say what you will about various business practices and pricing and all that jazz, which I do. Don't come at me saying like, you're all of a sudden just shilling for Hasbro. No, man, I'm calling it like I see it. That's what kills me. That's what breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart. Why? Because I'm not going to be able to afford these. I can't. Oh, it's the Agony and the Ecstasy, man. I'm just watching all these reveals going, that looks incredible. I'm not going to be able to afford to buy it. I might get 1 or 2 figures, maybe, because I've been priced out. I can still talk about them. That's one of the nice things I'm discovering, is I can still enjoy talking about this hobby without actually buying them. Thank goodness. Otherwise, there'd be no room for Dave at the inn. But there you go. So I'm not going to hold back in saying I think the face of Molecule Man looks stunning. Double thumbs up for that. And all pinless as well. Gotta love it. Then we got one that I thought was a big disappointment. Not going to hold back on this, Moonstone. When you mentioned Moonstone, I was like, oh, be still my beating heart. And then it's the freaking white costume again. Mid-2000s, Luke Cage Thunderbolts. Why? We got this already. I mean, yeah, she's as rare as unicorn poop, incredibly expensive, but don't just do the same one. You're crying out for the Thunderbolts, and that just makes me think, we ever going to get the Thunderbolts Moonstone? Because you just released a new Moonstone, and it's like, how many Moonstones are you going to release? Probably not that many. How much longer are we going to have to wait for an actual orange and red proper Thunderbolts Moonstone to go with Mach 1, to go with Songbird, to go with Citizen V? No, that's a big disappointment. Yeah, she's on the new buck, so, pinless and double jointed elbows, all that jazz, but I just don't care, man. I just don't care. I think it was such a missed opportunity to give us a Moonstone who would actually help complete a team. So there you go. There's a little bit of salt there for you. Yeah, I'm that person sat there going, who asked for this? And of course, there's probably a load of people, folks out there, if you were asking for this, more power to you. You can get her. For me, that's disappointing. Then they showed us Warrior Gamora, and is what it is. I guess it's Warrior Gamora, more for your what if wave. So that don't mean nothing to me. The render looks pretty. It looks very nice. I look forward to seeing the second season of What If so that we can see what this episode was all about. But yeah, I'm not going to linger on that. This Warrior Gamora, if you want to for your what if wave, then you can pick her up. Then we got the big ones, or some of the big ones. There's a lot of big ones, a lot of news on this as well. Yellow and blue, X-Men costume team, Uncanny 275, we getting them. They're going to be covering all of them. But first of all, they're releasing Wolverine himself, singular, card back, and man, these face sculpts. I might as well I've said it to blanket the whole thing, so I'm going to try not to repeat myself, but those Wolverine face sculpts, honestly, compared to like Mezco, Mafex, I think these are the nicest face sculpts. I'm calling them like I see them. It's as simple as that. They look fantastic, absolutely stunning. I'd be like, would those work on my Mezco Wolverine? Nah, that's too much, too much money in accessorizing. But yeah, I think the body looks plain and basic, but it's what it is. It's a shame that they still have. I mean, I guess this is no, it can't be the Vulcan buck because it's too big for Wolverine. But it still irks me that we still have the disc waist. We're like, come on, torso swivel, guys. That's where the logic is at for action figures now. But one of these days, maybe. That notwithstanding, though, the general package with those gorgeous head sculpts, it does look super pretty. Again, not going to buy it because buying that entire team, probably about $30 a pop. Nah, no, mate. I'm not made of money. Then speaking of kind of backtracking on tiers and packages and whatnot, we're getting a single-carded Longshot. So if you thought that you had to buy the Mojo box sets to get Longshot, no you don't. You can get him singularly, just like Mojo himself. That was such a strange thing that they announced the box set, and before that even comes out, they're like, oh, but you don't have to buy all those figures together. It's like they invited a logical, nice person into the boardroom, and they were like, guys, it's a bit mean to make people buy lots of figures they don't need just to get one they do. Let's just put them out singularly. And it's like someone in the boardroom would have gone, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. So they did that. I don't know, maybe there was some shipping mistake that put single-carded or single-box Mojo on the shelf when he shouldn't have been. Regardless, they're doing the same for Longshot. And he looks nice. I mean, he's fine. I'm not a big Longshot fan. What's kind of a shame, or it feels like we're moving backward a little bit, is he has the flash, the glare in his eye, which is good, but it's just kind of painted on. And it's like, years ago, with Cable and a few others, you had a proper sculpted X-Man, I think, from Age of Apocalypse. You had a proper sculpted on eye glare glow. And now we're moving backwards and we're just painting it. So unless it's different, that's the way my eyes saw it. I'm like, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Then we got Multiple Man in his classic racing green and gold circle body condom look. And hey, a lot of people need Multiple Man to complete their X Factor. If I hadn't have given up on my X Factor and sold them all, I would have got this guy to do it. Granted, he's green as opposed to blue, but hey, it's a technicality. He looks nice, and they realize and accept, of course, he's going to be an army builder, so they threw in an extra head, but only one. So kind of missing a trick there. I mean, the last Multiple Man came with 3 extra heads, so you could really do some fun army building with that. This one, you've only got 2 different looks. You've got different hands as well, but it still feels like, come on, guys. You could have thrown in an extra head. If you want folks to army build this dude, which of course you will do, he's Multiple Man, it seems like, again, a little missed opportunity. That notwithstanding, I think the dark racing green and the orange looks dark racing green and the gold looks really beautiful. Very, very striking. And again, as I always say, the face sculpt, mwah, or the paint, more to the point. The painting and the real photo technology, man, as far as those kind of aspects go, we are living in a golden age of collecting. Prices and distribution, not so much, but just the way those figures look, it's so good. Now, they are just answering so many people's wish lists with these X-Men releases. Dark Phoenix, single-carded Dark freaking Phoenix looks wicked. I think I might have to get this one. Again, depending on price and whatnot, because that's such a classic, really badass looking character, beautiful looking face sculpt. I love her little Phoenix Firebird accessory. That's really, really nice as well. So I think this would have generated a lot of gasps at home of people going, oh, and a lot of other people gasping because they hadn't yet sold their original 2-pack Phoenix online, and they were like, oh, I've missed the chance to maximize my money now. But still, I think this one doesn't have some things the older one did. Like, I think the older one had translucent hair, I think, which looked really, really awesome. So again, missing a little trick, but nonetheless, does look nice. Keeping with the wish fulfillment, Avalanche. They're building up that brotherhood, and they've got Avalanche. So now you can put him next to Pyro. You've got your animated Mystique, Juggernaut. All these, they're all coming together. That's what I'm saying. Toad. I was trying to think of who the extra members of the Brotherhood were. I said Juggernaut because I couldn't think of Toad, but Toad was who I was trying to come up with. And of course, they're teasing by not saying Blob. They were just sat around like, and I guess you're with them. Is there anyone else? I don't know. Is there someone else? We need to complete this team. So of course, they're just messing with us. I like those 3 guys. Despite the ribbing that we do, I genuinely like the team. They got a good, fun chemistry and dynamic. They're good presenters. I gotta say, although also big shout out to Thew Adams for hosting the pre-show. The best host, honestly, out of everyone. It's nothing worse than fake enthusiasm. And I think we saw a lot of that this evening from PresenterBot 5000. It's like, you can tell when it's genuine and when it isn't. And Thew Adams, man, I would book him to host my funeral. People would be like, it's a sad occasion, but man, that dude was fantastic. I'd be fine with that. Anyway, moving on. Yes, I took a little pause there to check my notes. Spiral! Holy potatoes! the figure that people wanted in the Mojo 4-pack, we're getting as a single release again. Did Captain Logic knock on the door and go, hey guys, let's just be nice to our customers and just give them the single figures that they want? Mojo, all 6 arms, complete new tooling on that, pinless joints, all the weapons, a beautiful face with the badass helmet. Oof. Yes, that is one I think I'm gonna have to get. I mean, she looks terrific. I don't even need like a Mojo verse or anything. I could stick her in with some random aliens. I don't know, but I want to find a place for her because she looks so good. I saw they reused some of Angela's weapons, I think, and a few others. Doesn't matter. I love the variety. They could have just given her 6 boring katanas, but instead they mixed things up, and I really, really dig that. Spiral is going to be, for me personally, that's a highlight of what was revealed. So, really, really good. Excellent stuff. Then they showed some more reveals or some more teasers with renders of their X-Men Yellow and Blue teams. First of all, we got Storm. This is Storm with the shorter kind of soccer mum sort of hair and looks kind of pretty. Not going to linger too long on that because it's just the render you got. But sticking with that team, they also showed another big one people have been asking for, Banshee. And Banshee with the screaming face. Because when your power involves screaming, it makes sense to have a screaming face. We have discussed this previously. They give him the kind of look. That's really, really great. Again, and they said 2 heads he's going to come with. So hopefully it will just be a more relaxed face and then a proper using his powers one. So that's going to be really, really great. And also you can just do a paint swap on that, different color with the green, and boom, you've got classic green Banshee. I'm sure they'll do that down the road. That's again gonna make a lot of people happy. That was great to see. Then another one that's so highest demand. Dark Phoenix, she was going for a fortune on eBay, and the other one was Strife, and we're getting a single Strife. I think it's single. They didn't show a card or a box or anything. There were rumors it was going to be in a multi-pack, but I don't think that's actually legit. So a single Strife, and yeah, he's one of those characters that is so toyetic. All the armor, the spikes, the blades, he looks wicked. Again, that's one I might genuinely want to get just for my shelf of badasses. Have him next to Shredder and some of the Cosmic Mythic Legions guys, some of the McFarlane Spawn characters. Yeah, he'll fit in there. He'll fit in like a glove. Man, that Strife, that's a lot of people are going to be very, very happy with that. So again, they're bringing it. That's why, I hate how much I love you, Marvel Legends, because you still make my favorite type of action figure. Don't like the prices, don't like the practices, but they're so nice. I wish I could afford to buy more than 1 or 2 because Strife, yeah, he's high on the list. Now, this is some news that might make the animated X-Men collectors happy and less so. They displayed and showed off animated Cyclops. Finally, probably one of the most requested animated figures. You get an animated Cyclops, and he looks really good. The cell shading is still all over the place. Makes no sense as to where light would be hitting the figure from, but that's kind of to be accepted now. And they did make a point, and this also goes for the yellow and blue X-Men costumes as well, that the straps around the legs and whatnot are actually keyed in to the figure. They're sculpted in. So they actually are going to sit nice and tight to the body, nice and tight, like a tiger. And it's also, especially with the straps around the legs, you're not going to be yanking them up and down like we had to do before. So that's a nice touch. It's like, hey, we're learning, we're improving. When you charge more money, we're all left here saying, well, what are you improving to warrant those? Okay, well, at least the straps are keyed in. That's something. I'm not giving credit, I'm just pointing out. But the other bad news was that they said, also this is going to be the last animated one for a little while. They said, we're taking a break, which if I was hoping to complete the animated set, that would fill me with cold ice feelings in my veins. I'm like, you're taking a break. How long is a break? Or are you just going to try and forget all about that? Because they've got a shiny new animated toy now. They're going to do animated retro Spider-Man figures. They showed off a 2-pack of Spider-Man, Black Costume Spider-Man, and Carnage. Because you remember in the animated series where Black Costume Spider-Man fought Carnage? No, me neither. I'm only ribbing. We've already got the classic one coming out. It's fine. But at first I was like, ooh, maybe? And I'm like, no, why? You don't need them, Dave. But animated Spider-Man, that is my jam. but they're surplus to requirements. And also they've proven that A, they can't really get the cell shading right, and B, more worryingly, there's no guarantee they're going to finish the line. Because you can't stop animated X-Men, take a break, and then go, but we're starting a new one. It's like, well, that's not going to encourage people to collect it, because you've literally just shown that you're not finishing the line. I mean, yeah, we're going to get back to it. Yeah, sure. Like all those times, all those other video projects that I'm going to get back to. Never going to get back to it. So I would be very reluctant to spend what will be a lot of money on a Spider-Man retro line. And then it turns out I've got like a black costume Spider-Man, a Carnage, and a Vulture. And that's it. And they're like, we're going to take a break from that. So yeah, I'll hold fire on that one. And finally, and I do say finally, I don't know if I missed out on anything at the very, very end. They went to some interviews and I was like, ain't nobody got time for that. So if I do miss out on anything, let me know in the comments. The last thing I saw was a 3-pack, a very unexpected 3-pack of Bullseye, White Costume Elektra, and Red Costume Daredevil. Finally, Red Costume Daredevil. People were demanding it for the longest time, myself included. Every time we had one of these things, we were like, where is Red Costume Daredevil, you cowards? And he's coming out in a 3-pack, which of course makes you think, well, again, it's going to be expensive. A lot of people do want Bullseye, though. To be honest, of all the figures that I've sold, I kind of regret selling Bullseye because he was a really good figure. So it's nice that they are going to have him and Elektra all together. At least it's a 3-pack that makes sense, except that ideally it should be Red Costume Elektra if they're doing like the Death of Elektra thing. Yeah, you girly, you're good, but me, why magic? That was a weird Clover Farrell type accent. Anyway, that is a cool looking 3-pack. So I dig that. And also credit that, it is a White Costume Elektra that is at least different. Because yes, Red would have made more sense for the 3 of them with that classic story. But again, we've already got a Red. So it is nice to have that variety. So kudos to that. And that does it, I think, for all of the reveals. So yes, I'm very excited by how great so much of it looks. And very sad that at today's prices, I might buy 1 or 2. Maybe Strife and Spiral. I would have been close to buying the animated Spider-Man wave, and I thought, no, they probably won't ever finish it. So all I will say is that's my kind of takeaway. Really mad at some of the business practices, but I still love the line, so I'm still going to have that excitement, kid on Christmas Day kind of feel talking about it. So guys, what do you think about the reveals? Comment below. Let me know. And of course, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Gang, thank you for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Big time